There are opportunities in life for gaining knowledge and experience.
Sometimes it's necessary to take a risk. And I got to thinking, I'll bet someone could learn a lot by getting into that woman's apartment. You know, sneak in, hide, and observe.
Hi, I'm Sophie, and I haven't seen a lot of movies.
Hi, I'm Paul, and I'm here to help with that. And we are
SP Film Viewers.
R.I.P. to David Lynch.
It's a bit related, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But I said peace with that earlier when I jumped on and watched a film of his on the day I've heard about it. But
Also buying Twin Peaks
yes,
and box set to watch. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, because I knew things will spike as soon as somebody passed away. Then everything, even just art in general of a celebrity or whatever will increase.
It always peaks.
Um,
And I'll be honest, this sounds really awful, and I'm going to be like, oh, so shocking that I didn't know who he was until he passed away. And the only time I'm aware of it
and
is
we've never covered a film of his before on the show, so.
And the only thing I know of is Twin Peaks,
which we've started watching.
Yeah, we haven't even finished. Like I'm enthralled and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Please don't tell me any spoilers, anybody, because I'm still going through that journey.
Yeah.
But it sounds sad, but it's taken him to die for me to actually watch anything.
Through me, though, you mean?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. The film that we're going to be covering today is mostly one of his films, and probably his most accessible to regular moviegoers, shall we say? Because David Lynch is very much known for being like the hidden meanings in the films he does, and it's like even if you can watch them multiple times, it's like, what does that mean? Like trying to break it down and everything. A bit.
Well, you kind of pointed that out with Twin Peaks, with when he's kind of fully directed an episode.
Yeah, so whenever we've seen that through the first series now, and it's like, oh right, he directed the pilot, and then just a few sporadic ones through that. It's like, okay, this is going to be slightly weird how it comes across as opposed to how the other directors have done the episodes. So
there's always a creepy man that appears when it's his.
Yes.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, so there's
and a kooky dream happens or something like that.
So the film I'm going to be covering today is called Blue Velvet from 1986. So a few years before Twin Peaks, because it stars Dale Cooper, a bit like the James Stewart thing in a younger role, younger appearance.
Blue Velvet, is that a song?
It's a song and it features in this film.
There you go.
So I'm going to read the synopsis to you now. I'm trying to find one that wasn't too spoilery as such, but when the discovery of a severed ear in a field leads a small-town college student to a bewitching night singer, he finds himself lost in a dark underworld of fear and depravity.
Something to do with Van Gogh?
Nope.
Ear chopping off who? Who would chop well? He chopped his own ear off, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Why would you leave a severed ear somewhere? Why would you just chop someone's ear off?
Send a message. So it's like a neo-noir mystery.
Oh, I like
thriller.
That. I just like mysteries and
thrillers.
Yeah, I think I do, because we watched. Was it on BBC? Sweet Pea. Would you class that as a thriller?
Oh no, that was on Sky.
Was it
Sky TV? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I guess drama, thriller.
It's like a bit of a detective, but then you know the killer, or
yeah.
I don't know. I think there's something about who did it kind of excites me a little bit. I'm wondering if is this before Twin Peaks?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, said that. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
So, because he's younger, isn't he?
Yeah,
he said, So it'll be interesting to see how it's been directed, because obviously I'm watching something that's more I don't know. I feel like the actor will have grown, and so will the director. That actually maybe is this going to be a thing again for me where I'm just going to prefer Twin Peaks. I'm not sure.
Right, yeah. Well, we'll have to find out, won't we, if we're watching it. So quite looking forward to revisiting this one anyway. So
if you're looking forward to it, it's going to be crap. Let's be frank.
Not necessarily. So let's go and check out Blue Velvet.
Hey, you want to go for a ride?
No thanks.
No thanks. What does that mean?
I don't want to go.
Go where?
For a ride.
A ride. Hell, that's a good idea. Okay, let's go. Hey, come on. We're going to go for a joyride. Joyride.
And we're back, having watched Blue Velvet.
Is that like Blue River or Blue...
Moon River.
I think they sound the same.
River. Is that what you meant by you thought was there a song?
No, I think I do know it, but I think it just sounds similar. Like the
tone, like a...
Yeah.
What's the... Like a crooner type of...
Don't know what that means, Paul.
You know, like an old not soul singer, but, you know, like Frank Sinatra and that kind of...
Like a timepiece.
Yeah. Yeah,
got you.
Yeah. So, was it a weird experience for you? Or how did you tackle?
I'm rubbish with names. Let me just do my cheat where I act like I know who everybody is and the names.
We've got Jeffrey, who's
I've got
Kyle MacLachlan, who is Dale Cooper in Twin Peaks.
Right. We've got Jeff, which his dad has like a bit of a incident.
Yeah.
At the beginning. I mean, I don't know. It's just there is some really weird characters. I think Dorothy, don't like her whatsoever. She's just. I know, obviously, bless her. Like, if you actually put her on like a psychiatric ward or something, you'd be like, yeah, there's some severe mental damage happened, and all of this is why she's the way she is. Yeah. But
that comes to light later on with the other characters, perhaps. But
it's just some creepy ass things like that happen that just make you feel a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think it reminds me of kind of going to a little bit of the Little Shop of Horrors with the gas mask for that one character.
Yeah. Frank Booth, who's played by Dennis Hopper, who I said, do you remember him from Super Mario Bros. Movie?
And I was like, no. I don't.
But I've always kind of seen him as playing a villainous character, and he plays this in spades, really, just like a very unhinged, and you say like he has that breathing.
It's awful.
And he does the baby wants to fuck.
And it literally is just cringe. Like, I don't know how she, as a woman, lets him even near her. Like, I'll be honest, it's just repulsive.
Yeah, I was a bit scared when it came to that bit, but I thought, you're a big girl, we've gotten through worse.
I have seen worse, but I did think, why can't you just kick him in the face at one point? Like, if he's high on gas, like, just, you've got the advantage.
But he's like, shut up, bitch, and don't look at me.
I literally would. Yeah. But then it's like really mixed leading messages. Like, woman is like, oh, want you. The next minute, don't look at me. It's like, bloody bipolar, what do you want? Like, I couldn't tolerate it. Like, if I were her, but obviously she's been completely unhumanised to a point of where she's just been submissive.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's just, Obviously, we've got Sandy, who is from
Laura Dern. Yeah, a young role for her as well.
There's some action in this where it is a bit questionable, and obviously she's quite younger in this, but she's good in some scenes, but then you can tell, like, have you ever felt like somebody's overacting?
Nicolas Cage is a good example, I think, of that sometimes. But I know what you mean. Yes, like the facial expressions would be like when she's like feeling sad and stuff.
And something to do with robins at the end, where we express our love, and then the robins appear.
Oh, that was like midway through there.
And it was just a bit like, okay, this is like, I don't really know what he's saying. And
but as I say, with David Lynch, I think it's trying to interpret things, but it's like, what are you even talking about? A little bit. But when I meant in the pre-ramble where I said about like, it's his most accessible film, it has a sort of linear storyline, doesn't it? It's like say Jeffrey discovers this EN field, and then he's like in an investigation of like, what's this all about? Who's done this? And take it to the police and everything. And he knows Sandy through him, and
well, he's kind of using Sandy at the get-go, isn't he, to get the information? But I think he secretly likes her. Obviously, he's not in school. He's graduated or something, so he's a bit older than her, I would assume. But while all this is happening, and he's like found the severed ear and all of this, his dad's in hospital, and I feel like he gives two hoots about A, what happened to my father, B, have you visited him in a while, and is he actually alive? Like, because you're too busy wrapping up in some details on Dorothy, like, and I still don't fully like know what's going on and why, and like who's the bad person, and I'm still like, I'd obviously have to re-watch and watch again to really understand everything that I consumed. Not in a bad way, because like obviously I know Dorothy she had a son and a husband, and they took them and held them hostage.
Yeah,
but there were so many like people that were in the bad gang, like to who was like the main
head honcho.
Yeah,
Frank Booth. Yeah,
was it him? Because he seemed really weird, like, so I just never knew he was in charge.
I would sort of class him as like the gang leader, as it were. He was like everybody kind of followed him and everything like that.
Because you had Sandy's dad had a policeman who was
yellow man. It's called. Yeah,
it's called?
Because
I know it's called.
His surname was Gordon.
Okay,
yeah,
right.
But
yeah,
he seemed like embroiled in it all, really. Like,
which that's why everything got away with it, because he's like encrypted into it. So like he's putting it under the books and it's not happening.
Yeah.
You then got this man with a mustache, but actually that's Jeff, isn't it?
Man with a mustache.
Yeah. So like when Frank. He's the same guy with the mustache, isn't he? So when Jeff's taking those pictures...
he's the mystery man. Yeah. It's like walk out of the building and he walks out with somebody who seems to be somebody else. Yeah, it's all in disguise.
So, there's another one, isn't there? So basically, there's three men, but two of them are Frank.
Yeah.
And then there's that older man.
Is it when they go to that house? And is it Ben? I think with the.
Do you think they were gay?
I think Ben probably was. Yeah,
I felt like something was implied, they'd had something.
Yeah, or he just wanted him from afar, really.
Yeah, but then I don't know. I felt like Frank were like.
I don't know.
Weird.
I mean, he is a very weird and crazy.
But then
character.
I just didn't understand why they'd done this to Dorothy. Like, what had her husband done something wrong? What was like the motive?
I think it will have been something behind that.
But it's never said, is it? It's never made apparent. Like, why is it that? Why couldn't they have just held the husband hostage? Why did they take the kid? And then you never see her at the end, like Dorothy, with her husband. You just see her holding her kid.
Well, all I know is at the very end, she is reunited with her son, but...
Unless he's been killed and we've completely missed it, because you don't really get apparent of who he is.
Mm-hmm. Not
like,
really.
Because you don't really see him, do you?
But
then it's like, well, what went down? And I still, I would watch it again just because I feel like there's so many things I've missed.
Yeah. There's it's never, with his films, it's never like a one and done, that's it, unless you absolutely really detest it or something. I suppose you don't want to see it again. But in a sense of unpicking and understanding what's beneath the surface, then there's definitely rewatch value in films.
Yeah, because I don't feel like there's some repulsing bits, I won't lie, like there is some awkward moments, but obviously it's building and depicting every character, even if you dislike them.
Yeah.
I always think if they do a good baddie like Joffrey from Game of Thrones, then they've done good.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I did dislike him a lot.
Yeah.
So obviously he played his role right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But at the same time, there was some uncomfortable, like, oh, I don't want to see that. Like, it's a bit cringe.
Yeah,
But it wouldn't put me off watching it again, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Could have been a lot worse, though.
Yeah.
Like how it would have done. You could have, like, with the first encounter, first seeing Frank, and he's, like, so, like, over the top of her, and he's like, as if like he was going to rape her, but he wasn't. He had his pants on, and he was getting excited. And
it seems like a bit of an excited puppy, but I don't think he wants her to be a woman. Like, I really do think he wants her to be a man, but he's too ashamed. Like, that's how I'm interpreting it. Because, like, there was, like, a gagging thing where they're, like, eating this, like, rope of the, like...
like, the
dressing
blue
gown.
Yeah, blue velvet, yeah.
And it's in his mouth.
Yeah.
But then I don't really know how he's getting off, basically, because, like, literally just shoving shit in his mouth. And then, like, his pants are not off. And it's just all very weird.
Bizarre,
and I think he's got some issues. Like, he's absolutely insane. Don't really know what Jeff's motive is, because I feel like he should be caring more about his dad. Like, he finds the ear, and I think, oh yeah, it's Twin Peaks all over again. It's like where he started. Like, it's him being intrigued and being a detective. But I'd rather appreciate, like, he wants to be a junior policeman, and that's like his go in life. Instead, he's just trying to unpick something.
Yeah, why is he getting involved?
Yeah.
There's no. You feel like there's no need for it. It's just like you going finding something odd,
Like,
and then you take it to the police and go.
I'm sorry, if I found a dead, like, somebody's ear on the floor, that would be. I don't even think I'd pick it up. The way that he picks it up as well. Yeah. He picks it up with his fingers.
Yes. Not even like you.
But then he's got a bag.
Yeah.
So couldn't you just do it like a poo bag and put your hand in it, and then you wouldn't even have to physically touch it? Like,
yeah, 100% agree with doing that instead
of
just going.
Vile.
Yeah.
Obviously, in Twin Peaks, he would be more thorough. Like, that would be
His
out of character otherwise.
Yeah, 100%.
But this was just a bit like, okay. I'd probably just see it and go, oh, that's weird. I'd probably I'd probably tell the police.
Someone's finger there.
But
well,
I wouldn't pick it up. I'd go, well, it's in this vicinity here. That would be it. Like, and then I wouldn't want to, unless it was somebody I loved's ear chopped off and you'd gone missing, then I'd have the interior motive to want to find you. But how am I going to know that's Paul's ear on the floor? I'm not going to know that, am I?
Well, no.
Unless you went missing. But then
and then they send you in a
me
box.
an ear, yeah. Then I would do something about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that's just the bit where it's like, well, why? We don't even get answers of why his dad's in hospital and he's in such a bad case. Like, I feel like there's so many things that just happen, and you just have to be like piece it together. But there's still not many pieces.
Very cryptic in some cases of that. Yeah.
Like, what actually happened to him? Because it looked like he got shot in the neck. He was just literally hosing his garden.
And yeah, something like a stroke or something. And
no, someone shot him. I feel like a sniper or something. Like, it was like a little in the neck, and he went on the floor. And then these weird ants, were they even actual things?
What do you mean they were the actual thing? It was like a really zoomed in close up of like beetles or something in the grass.
Yeah,
like
why? It looked like they were going to eat him.
But they weren't, because it was just a
really
close up.
A lot of things just a bit like.
Well, I think there is probably some sort of metaphor symbolism with the beetles, because we mentioned before about the robins. It's part of Sandy's like dream of like the robins represent love. Maybe the beetles represent hate or something, because the robin has one of those beetles in his mouth.
Oh, at the end.
So
can we just talk about that robin looking like a massive thrush?
Yeah.
Not even a robin. I was like, it's huge. Like,
maybe have big ones in America.
I don't know what size robins you have, but like mine are tiny robins. This is a massive blackbird size, and I'm just like very confused. Did it even look real? Like, I know obviously this is in the 1986 when it was released, but just get a real bird instead. Like,
I think that'd be very hard to control.
I'm sure there's something they could do
for the shot.
But then they have that opening on Twin Peaks, that thrush. That was the same size.
Yeah, but that's just like stock footage, isn't it? Not having to have it involved in a scene where people are reacting to it, and it's very different.
Don't you think in cause obviously the Lumberton town?
Yeah, again, connection, isn't it? It seems with Twin Peaks.
Yeah, because it's like it's a little village, it's a little town, and it's in middle of nowhere. A lot of wood being timbered everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think, well, God, how can all this stuff happen in such a small town? Like, don't everybody know each other's business? So stuff shouldn't be happening because you'd be easily detected and pointed out.
Well, you thought, but there's obviously like this nighttime activity where it's all kind of very sleazy and everything like that.
Even in Twin Peaks, it is.
Mm-hmm. We're just doing a lot of comparisons here.
It is. No, but it's like, how can I not?
Yeah, I suppose. It's 'cause it's all fresh, isn't it?
Yeah. Also, Sandy's boyfriend. She's like, I've got a boyfriend. And I'm like, well, you hardly see the boyfriend. Then you see him once when she gets into a car and she's like, I don't even know the boyfriend's name. But she's like, oh, blah, blah. And then she's like,
Mike.
Well, that's over then, isn't it? And then it's like, oh, you don't seem that heartbroken, do you? And then she gets up with Jeff.
Yeah, and he's like, you're a neat girl, basically, as if she like almost like pours her heart out with this dream that she had and everything. It's like, he's like, yeah, awesome. Like,
he doesn't seem that interested. But then she still seems to go back to him even after, like, it's implied he's had sex with Dorothy.
Oh, no, it is. He has had sex with her.
Oh, has he?
Very much so.
Oh, did they have clothes off? I think I just tuned off at that point.
Yes, they did. Because she was like, hit
Oh,
me.
Yeah,
and,
I did tune off when that happened.
And then she even, Dorothy even says, you know, he put your disease in me, which is like, what a way to describe.
But then it's like, well, didn't they wear protection? Because she could be pregnant and she could be coming your way, mate. I mean, imagine.
Cuckoo bananas woman coming to...
I'm pregnant, you know, poor lad. Like, I don't even know if Jeff is, like, actually attracted to her or if it's just a shit, I'll go along with it because I don't want her to stab me. She does stab him in the cheek when he's in her closet. Yeah. Fair enough, though.
Gets in, too deep a little bit. I think he, like, takes things too far with, like, the hiding in the closet, a bit of voyeurism going on there with that. But then it's like, well, I'm too far gone with it. It's kind of get involved and it's sort of like, you know, like a young boy, like, lusting after somebody's, like a cougar or whatever, like that kind of thing. And he's like, oh, this is really hot, like an experienced woman kind of thing to...
But I don't think he thinks that, really. I think he's just trying to pretend that that's what he thinks just because it's like, well, that will be the best outcome to lie about. Because, like, what else could he do in that situation? Like, otherwise he would have got killed. Because she's on edge, she's this woman.
Yeah. Very unstable.
And obviously at that point he didn't really know what... If she was classed as the murderer, wasn't she? Like, everyone was suspecting her. Like, that's what Sandy said, wasn't it? Like, oh, it's to do with this Dorothy woman. I straight away, for some reason, expected her not to be young. I don't know why. Living on her own. I just thought she'd be, like, older.
All right, okay.
So when I saw her, I was like, oh, she's actually not too bad. But it's still like, well, Sandy seems fine with it afterwards. Like, I don't think I'd be fine with it. It's like, well, you put your disease in her. You're not coming near me at all. Like, I don't know where the hell that's been.
Just have a good long scrub.
Need more than that. Bleach it.
Well, because shortly after, like, admitting, like, oh, I still love you, and all that.
Yeah.
It's like,
but you've overreacted, looking absolutely mortified, and then being like, oh, it's okay, the Robins have come. Also, you have that really weird scene where, obviously, Frank finds out about Jeff and he's like driving like an absolute lunatic.
Yeah, let's go on a joyride.
On gas. And it reminds me of something. There's two cars and they try and drive off a cliff. Don't say Thelma and Louise because it's not that.
Are you thinking of Death Proof? Where they weren't driving off a cliff. That was just a car chase because he was pursuing the girls and then they chased him after the fact.
I think it was more like a competitive.
Oh no, maybe. Sorry, you may be thinking of Rebel Without a Cause, the James Dean
maybe
film where the young like high school kids, and then it's like and then one goes too far and they it's that then
we have covered, haven't we?
Yeah, no, we haven't covered that. No, we've just watched it.
Yeah, that's the one. Oh, just me to pick a really old film to compare it to. God, I'm like an old biddy, aren't I?
That's fair. No, glad you brought it up as a reference point, really.
Thanks.
Fair. Doesn't really compare it.
Getting brownie points. But do you see where I'm coming from? I think it's that, like, in the distance, and he's driving and driving and driving, and then it's like, is he gonna stop? Where's he gonna end up? And I think it's just because it's so dark, you don't know if he could actually just drive off a cliff or not. And it's the fact that obviously he's still on his gas at this point as well. Of Jeff's in the back, squished between the two other guys, and then I don't get really why he takes him to the house, and then obviously Dorothy then gets to have like a little bit of time with her son and her husband, which sounds heartbreaking through the door, like, oh no, mummy does love you, and like, because the baby's saying she doesn't. I don't know if that's somebody else is feeding that in and saying that clearly, or he's just feeling that because he's not seen her, that he thinks she's neglecting him. But a lot of it is just like, what is happening? But not in a bad way, but just in a bit of a...
Yeah, you're trying to piece it together as
and I
best you can,
can't.
but as I say, it's. I didn't expect you to be like, oh yeah, cut and dry, like how it's. Yep, that makes perfect sense.
No, it doesn't. And I do think like Twin Peaks is a bit easier to follow. Like, I'm still intrigued with the whole Laura aspect, and I think it's more enthralling. Obviously,
there's more to develop because it is a series.
Yeah, and you get, I think, the characterization
more digestible.
I think so, and also you grow to love him a lot more because it is a season, or like, say, episodic. You get to really like the characters, whereas obviously in this I don't think I've got there as much. And obviously, what's his name in Twin Peaks?
Dale Cooper.
I absolutely love him. Like, he's just amazing, and I can see from this how he's developed into that character.
Yeah. No, he's good. He's a really good actor.
But do I like him as much in this as I do in Twin Peaks? Probably not. It just seems more lovable in Twin Peaks. Like, he's just such a wonderful guy, but very smart. And the dreams the dreams in Twin Peaks seem to work really well, which we didn't really have.
Well, you sort of, in this, it's sort of like dreamlike in some senses, really, just how things are edited together, shall we say, and all that. I think it's and even like at the end, it's sort of like the hopefulness of everything. Like at the beginning, there is that it all like looks light and bright and everything, and then it kind of ends that way.
You notice that quite a lot, which is weird because I did a photography degree, you'd have thought that would be more relevant, but I think maybe on a second watch I'd notice it, because I think you said the same about another film. When the dream sequences came in, they were like...
Oh, sorry, no, I didn't mean that exactly. I meant just the fact that how it just looks more... You can see the white, a positive spin on everything. That's what I meant more, like, not by like how we can see. Yeah.
What was that film that you did tell me that?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think you noticed that. But I think for me, obviously this is my first watch, whereas I think obviously that I can't imagine. Maybe you will have done because you are quite good at noticing these things. But I think when I watch it again, it would be more obvious.
Apparent, yeah.
I think on the first time you're just like, who are the names?
Yeah.
What's happening? Who are they?
No, I get you. Yeah. No, it's I'm glad we've covered it, and I say there are other ones that I could have gone with, but I felt this was one I hadn't revisited it in a while, and so again I felt like this is the most closest one to what we've been experiencing with Twin Peaks. So sort of like a comparison between the two, which we've kind of obviously been doing throughout this review. But there is lots of things to. I mean, there's so many things you can pick out and like correlate to different things. Like I find interesting this watch that I probably didn't even like tweak on before. With we said about colours and stuff, like how Sandy has this like the baby pink.
And baby
coloration,
blues as
and baby
well.
blues and like neutral, like
showing like she's innocent.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah.
And then obviously you've got Dorothy Moore in obviously the blue.
Yeah,
velvet.
the darker blues and everything like that, much more like harsher
and
colorization.
Even I think she might wear red at one point as well, like a dark red. And I think it's showing like more the harshness of life.
Everything. Yeah. Obviously, when she's in the club as well, it's all very much like that. It's supposed to be like a sort of nice environment. It's like somewhere to chill and everything, but there's obviously like that dark seediness as well to it, underlying.
Yeah.
With it all,
especially when Frank's there with his mask and.
I don't think he's in there with the mask in the club.
Don't know. I feel like he would be like You know, like in Twin Peaks, I feel like he'd own it or something, or he's running it or something, and that's why. Because otherwise, I don't really know who would employ her.
But I don't know what there's probably some significance with the Jeffrey drinking like the Heineken beer as opposed, and then with Frank's like, it's like, no, it's Pabst Blue Ribbon you're supposed to drink or something like that, as if like I think it's more like an American drink, where Heineken obviously I think is more German. So I don't know.
Good taste.
Race.
I think that's the thing though. Like in Twin Peaks, he always likes his coffee. Like you get like a personality trait on what his preferences are, like
cherry
black
pie.
coffee. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, there's so much that could be focused on and stuff. But I think it's been a good discussion and sort of like to open you up to the filmography rather than just the TV series of what the director's done. But
yeah, no, it's intriguing. I always like something that's a bit like undercover or trying to investigate themselves or like solve some form of mystery. I have just seen on your notes though where it says "I'm Paul Slap Slap."
Oh yeah, I didn't do that bit of the
No, you
thing.
didn't.
The character, I forget who he's from Twin Peaks, but he runs the lumber, the mill, timber
that
mill.
Woman's
He's got
the seedy woman's wife.
Yeah. But I'm Paul. That's what he just says in this film. It's like, okay, I don't. Again, it's like picking. Oh, there's that character from the show and everything.
But then that's all he does.
Yeah, don't do a great deal.
No. But then maybe that potential of him clapping saying "I'm Paul" then brought him into Twin Peaks.
It's like, yes, that's what we need. The energy we need there.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Is there anything else to bring up, or do you want to go to score?
I think I'm ready for the score.
Okay. Yeah. So over to you.
I think if we were gonna ever like review like a series, like Twin Peaks for me would be a 10 at the moment. Like it's really high up there.
Okay.
It's enthralling. It's intriguing. It's got everything I think in it. This is not as high up, but it's not far. I can see the potential. I can see where it's come from.
Yep.
I think it's really like it's a long film, but a lot
2 hours. Yeah.
happens in them 2 hours. Are they all relevant? I feel like maybe. Like some of it I just don't actually understand. But
I mean, I could say the same, to be honest. But
it didn't. We did pause it halfway through, and I was like, "Oh, we've still got an hour." Like, so we went and got.
You said that last time as well. With you can't take it with you as well. What is this with the?
I don't know.
Going, oh,
got an hour left, but I was thinking, well, where's it going to go? Because I think we'd already met like Dorothy. We knew, but actually, everything in it was like intriguing. I always feel like the end actually seems more intriguing sometimes than the like lead up to.
Well, you've got to build up to things, haven't you? That's the nature of.
But overall, really enjoyed it. I think I see the potential. I think I would definitely watch it again. So that's always a bonus.
Okay.
Because I feel like a lot of it confused me. So I feel like if I watch it again, it might
make a bit more sense.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And enthrall me a little bit more. Overall, I think it's nothing I've ever seen or watched before. Like it's unique in itself in its own right.
Unique director, so yeah.
So I think I'm gonna give it a generous, in my opinion, 8.
Wow, that is it's quite a shock to me in the sense I didn't know if you were going to be like 7 or less or something just because of the content that was involved in it. So no, I'm very, very happy with that as a score.
Well, I think it's because I really like Twin Peaks, and there is like some not as cringe. I wouldn't say we haven't got that far, so it might get that way.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I'm really enthralled, and this did enthrall me to want to. If anything, it just left me wanting more, to ask more, which is never a bad thing. Yeah. Remember when I used to get annoyed when they used to not tell me everything? Growing up, Paul. Yeah. So, what's yours?
For me, it's not my absolute favourite David Lynch film, I'll say that much. There's another one that is definitely like that top marks.
Is that the one that you watched when he passed away?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. You watched it by yourself. Is that because I wouldn't like it?
Not to say you wouldn't like it, but it's a very long film. So
longer than 2 hours?
Yeah, like 2.5.
Oh, Jesus.
So, but anyway, that's to discuss at a later date. But so for this one, I am going to put it at 9.
I don't
Could
feel
be
like I've...
9.5 maybe, but it's pushing it. It's almost there, but I think around 9 for this.
I don't think I've scored too badly then.
No, absolutely not. No. Very impressed.
Thank you. I've impressed you twice in this podcast.
I know, yeah.
Don't expect anything in the next 2 now.
Oh, I forgot to mention as well, like, there is a sort of connection, I think, with Wizard of Oz, because we've got a character called Dorothy, and there is a curtain of sorts that's...
Is this going to be the same thing like Twister, where that was a connection with Dorothy as well?
A lot of things come back to Wizard of Oz, apparently. Yeah.
Are you doing this on purpose?
No, absolutely no. To that point, I rented a disc that's called Lynch Oz, and it's like a documentary about how the parallels are between his work and the Wizard of Oz. So he must be really inspired by that, and they brought up this film as one of it. But I had that in my head before that anyway. But annoyingly, I had to stop because like halfway through, and then they're starting talking about the later seasons of Twin Peaks, and I was like, well, I can't enjoy this documentary because I'm fast forward through things because there's going to be major spoilers. So I was like, oh, well, that's just great. Thanks. Well,
should have watched it sooner. You're doing it back to front.
No.
We'll just have to rent it again later once we've finished it.
Yeah, I guess so. But you live and learn. I don't know.
So, that's a wrap.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening to this episode. Hope you got enjoyment from it.
I did. That's all that matters.
That's true. And if you want to check out some of our other episodes, then you can do so by going to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and wherever else you get your podcasts from. And as always, be sure to leave a 5-star review over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else they do the scoring system.
So if you do miss us through the week and like one podcast a week is not enough, then you can follow us on our socials. We are under the handle SP_filmviewers on Twitter, TikTok, Threads and Instagram. We're also on Blue Sky under the handle SP_filmviewers without the underscore. So like, subscribe, heart, share, all that stuff. Also, Paul has been doing a lot of hard work on the YouTube channel. So there is some videos up there. I think you haven't done one for Feb, but you have started a new job. So be gracious with us. But if you could just follow and like him, you never know, at some point you might see my face there.
Yep. So that's just search SP Film Viewers on YouTube and you'll find the channel there. These episodes also do go up there as well if you prefer to
stream it
that way. Yeah. Lastly, we'd like to thank the Patreons, of course, for their continuing support with the show. And if you want to join the family, have your name read out every single episode, and pick a movie we watch once a month, then all you need to do is go to patreon.com/SPFilmViewers. Donate as little as £1 or $1.50 a month for those privileges. And so we're going to shout out the lovely people who have already contributed, who are All Hail King Rhino, who is on Instagram and Threads under that handle. We've got Mark from 100 Things to Learn from Film, Ben from Ben Push Pull Health, formerly Film Vloggers, and Nico from The Good, The Bad and The Weird podcast.
We've also got my mum, Alex and Shani, who are on Instagram under the handle Desperately Seeking Username and SDOG. We've also then got Emma and Jones, who are on Instagram under the handle Weight Loss Jonesy and M_Hayton. And lastly but not least, Gren, who's also on Instagram under the handle CGren_draw.
So, thank you very much for listening to this episode once again, and we'll speak to you next time.
Speak to you next time.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
if you're a detective or a pervert.
Well, that's for me to know and you to find out.